OVC Basketball Media Days, Rick Pietri, what a difference a year makes. Last year, nobody thought you were going to do anything, and now here you are picked third in the preseason poll. Is that what you thought? Did you think you'd be somewhere in the top 6 after the way you finished last year?
I thought it was reasonable to expect that. I mean, we finished in the Final Four, and we finished basically 6th out of 12 last year. And we have virtually everybody back from the team that finished the year. So it was reasonable to believe that we'd be picking the top half. Third, by the coaches and SIDs, was a little bit of an eye-opener to me. I would have expected maybe 4th or 5th, but it is what it is. It is interesting the difference a year makes, because 365 days ago we were picked dead last unanimously. So the fact that we've now been picked 3rd out of 12 says a lot about what the young ladies in our program accomplished last year. And so now the chore is to be able to move forward with a little bit of a target on your back. I mean, everybody in our program that's been in it has never had a target on their back. So adjusting to that concept will be something that we'll be dealing with during the year.
How do you think once you get back to practice now, I'm sure the girls are going to be a little excited about this, aren't they?
Well, you know, yes, and they also will understand that with increased expectation comes a level of responsibility that comes with that, and fulfilling what people expect of you. And so, last year in practice we could take things a little bit slower, number one, because I was new and they were all new. Number two, because our expectations were low, so we could be a little bit more patient. Now, it's again, there's a higher level of expectation, so we have to be comfortable managing that expectation.
After you got on the roll in the second half of the season last year, though, you didn't really sneak up on people. They knew that you were coming after them, so that's got to help some coming into this year, doesn't it?
That's true, because you're right. At the end, they knew that we weren't the same old Jacksonville State. They knew it, and so that is true. And so to a degree, our kids have dealt with that some. It is a little bit different, though, when it's on paper for everybody to see going into the year. It does put a little different flavor on it.
You've been around doing this a long time. For you personally, what does this mean? What do you think about preseason rankings, preseason polls?
Well, they are nice, but at the end of the day, they mean nothing. Preseason all-conference is a nice honor, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. What only means something is how you finish at the end. And it's a conversation piece, and it's nice from a standpoint to get people talking about your sport. But you don't get any points for where you're picked, or you don't get any awards for being picked at a certain standing before the season begins.
All right, you've been at it right at 2 weeks now. Are you happy with the way your team has practiced so far and progressing at a rate you want them to go?
Well, I've been happy on some days, and I haven't been happy on some days.
Typical coach, right?
Yeah. And so I do think that we do have to learn from a preseason standpoint, because, again, our pace of how we functioned last year was a little bit different. And now, again, there's a higher level of expectation now that we've done it and we've gotten it once. And so now we expect a little bit more out of our returning players, and for them to understand that the gear that they have to reach is at a certain level at all times. And so we are in the dog days. We've been through 2 and now plus weeks of practice. So this is the dog days of practice, and this is when your players are looking forward to playing against somebody else. And so but we have to understand that we have to do the ample preparation to put us in position to play somebody else well.
8 returnees from last year, and they all played, were part of the success that you enjoyed in that. We can get into the Final Four of the conference tournament. You've got some new faces in there as well. I guess one of the big keys and items, as we've talked about, how they mesh, how that chemistry works together.
Yeah, blend is a really big deal. And so, we've got players, as you mentioned, who were part of our success last year, who had a niche in that success, and now we've got new players we've brought in who have an expectation. I mean, they want to play too, as we've talked about. So to try to get those new players to blend with the kids that we already have will be a challenge. And it's a normal challenge. It's something that teams face in these circumstances all the time. And how we deal with that blend issue will have a lot to do with what kind of success we have.
You open at Texas Tech. Are you even thinking about them right now?
Absolutely not, because we have so much work we still have to do to get these new players acclimated, and we're tinkering with some things a little bit different than last year to try to make some adjustments. And so I'm just more worried about getting ourselves together before I can think about an opponent.